Right. I want us to show you some tricks here when you're working with inequalities. We know that you can work up to this far. Once we are at this point here, let me just take it from that point to show you how to make it easier for ourselves. We've got x minus 5 into x plus 3 is positive. It is greater than 0. Then from here, you have to do critical values, CVs. In this case, our CVs, first x is equals to 5 or x is equal to minus 3. Those two critical values. From there, let's put them on a number line. Smaller one this side, bigger on that side. The smaller one is minus 3, the bigger one is 5. Instead of going on all those steps, you can just take shortcuts here. Look here, this sign, look at this sign, look at this sign, it is greater than. This part here, there are three regions here. This part is inside, this part is outside. I say this part is outside, this part is inside. So there are three regions here. Now watch here. If this sign does not have an equal sign like this one, if here, for example, if there was an equal sign here, then these were going to be part of the solution. Number one, if there's a greater or equals to, if there's an equal sign, the critical values become part of our solution. But for this case, critical values are not part of our solution because there's no equal sign in this sign. That's number one. So this, if I see this sign, I don't even have to check it. If there's no equal to here, these are not part of my solution because these critical values are not going to be part of my solution rather than checking it on here. Number two, look at this sign. I say this part here is outside, this part is inside. This part is outside, this part is inside. Let's look at this sign here. Number one, number two. This sign points where? The sign points where? Outside. This sign points where? Inside. So if the solution is going to be outside, the sign will be greater than. If it is this sign, it will be pointing inside. So the solution will be inside. Let's look at the solution here. Let's look at the sign. Where is the sign pointing? It's pointing outside. So this part is inside, this part is outside. That's where our solution is. So this part is not part of our solution. So by looking at it, you can tell where your solution will be. I'm saying if it points outside, so that's where the solution is. It will be outside. If it was this sign, it was going to be pointing inside. So that's where the solution would have been. So how would I go about writing the solution of this one? I would say x, our solution is less than minus 3, or our solution is greater than 5, which is exactly the same as this one. But just rushing against time in your examination, you can follow that short route. But it is important to understand this part first. Let us go to another type of inequalities. At times you'll be given these types of questions. Examiners, they like to use this types of inequalities to check our understanding. Remember, what is this sign saying to us? It is saying less than 0, meaning negative. Anything that is less than 0 is something that is negative. So what is happening here? Bracket means times. We're multiplying this term and this term, we're getting something that is negative. When you multiply isn't as 2 negative, it means that one must be positive, the other one must be negative. But fortunately for us, this is about 2 marks in the exam. But fortunately for us, we can see this one, that it is positive. So if this is positive, this one should definitely be negative. So that the positive times negative will give me less than 0, which is negative. So we are saying 3 to the power x, it is positive. We can see that it is positive because there's no sign here. If I've got a number 2 and there's no sign here, I must know that that is positive. So we can see that is positive. So how is this one? So the x, if this is positive, how is this one? So the x minus 5 must be less than 0. If this is positive, this one must be negative, so that when you multiply them, it will give us something that is negative. Now let's work it out. Let's solve for x. It becomes piece of cake. What is the value of x here? If we take that one that side, our x will be less than 5. That's how you solve for x in this particular problem. X is less than 5. Thank you.